Itong Kia Carnival na naka 1-0 na is looking to continue on their winning ways sa pagtatapat ng dangerous foes. Will Kia go 2-0 or can Barangay Ginebra finally get their first win? As this ball game is now underway, ang first quarter at Itzati ng Motolite. For Express and Service, call 370-6686. Sol Mercado with a steal. Kagiwa barreling his way through, but could not draw first blood.
Pumagu very evident para dito sa Barangay Ginebra in their first two games. They really got out-rebounded by the teams that they played. So doon mo makikita talaga nami-miss nila si Japet at itong si Greg Slaughter because these are the two guys that usually lead the team in rebounding.
Lalong-lalo na, nakaramihan ng teams ngayon, 6'5 lang ang limit ng kanilang global import. Well, Kia, one of those teams na pwedeng magkaroon ng only height na import, and they went with this guy from Senegal, na si Hamadi Njai. That frontline battle is gonna be interesting, and immediately, Kia gustong sukatin si Dorian Peña, and Njai scores the first bucket of
Yun
the
na lang ang
game.
magagawa ng Dorian Peña. You try to push him outside and make him make that jumper. But again, important para dito kay Dorian Peña, he cannot foul, he cannot get into early foul trouble.
Mercado may tangan ng bola. Waiting for more movement from the rest of his Ginebra. Nice fake by Johnson. Pull-up jumper against the shot block. Njai for the rebound. Revilla pushing it hard para dito sa Kia. They go to Chan and he buries a 3. 5-0 kagad ang nasa ating talaan. 3-pointer na natin sa atin ng PLDT on Evolution. Turns your ordinary TV into an internet TV.
Kia Carnival, a team that definitely needs to rely a lot on their imports. Pagdating dun sa mga puntos at ang kagandaan dito, hinahanap ng mga locals yung kanilang mga imports to be able to contribute early.
Sanchir, who missed the last game para sa Barangay Ginebra, coach's decision, siya po ay nabangko, scores the first 2 points of the game para sa Ginebra.
Mabigat yun, nasabihin na coach's decision, you are an import, dinala ka dito at hindi ka ginamit. So looks like if there was any sort of issue na hindi siya ginamit, nakita din natin dun sa video nung previous game nila, there were times na makikita mo talagang visibly hindi niya nagustuhan na hindi siya ginamit. Wala namang player na gusto na hindi gamitin. So looks like they're able to sort those things out and now he's starting in his ball game.
Pinalitan niya sa starting lineup, etong si L.A. Tenorio. Johnson pupunta kay Mercado. Ano kaya yung the rest of the game na si Sanchir? Saw minutes in the opening game para sa Barangay Ginebra, scored 8 points in the first half but was blanked in the second half of that contest bago nga mabangkunan ng tuluyan netong nakaraan. Ibang klaseng gigil din kaya na may gustong patunayan ang kanya
Lalo
ipakita.
na, ang pakiramdam niya, hindi siya nakabawi nung unang laro nila. Then nung pangalawang game, hindi ka naman nagamit, so masalo ka talaga ng gigil. So, you know, one thing that's evident for Barangay Ginebra, now that Sol Mercado is starting for Barangay, looks like slowly itong si Coach Frankie, meron siyang napupusuan ng mga players. Nakikita niya, sino ba ang pwede dun sa sistema ko? Saan ba ako makakakuha ng puntos? Ano ba ang makukuha ko? So really, these are the things that Coach Frankie, it's a work in progress. You remember, Sol Mercado came in late this conference, maybe just a few days before their first game.
Sol Mercado right now is actually averaging the most minutes amongst locals para sa Barangay Ginebra. 32.5 minutes a game. Pumapangalaw sa kanya si L.A. Tenorio at 32 minutes a game. As Ighalo scores on that drive.
You know, ang nakakatakot dito sa Kia Carnival, nakakagulat talaga sila. In terms of you know, their aggressiveness, they're a team that you cannot take lightly. They performed really well last conference. So this is a team that their confidence is up there because of PJ Ramos. And ngayon, pag nakita mo pa, dalawang import nila.
Inaabot yata sa panga itong si Johnson. And Jai whistled for his first personal foul. Barely 3 minutes into the contest. Let's see if Ginebra will continue to attack Njai and try to force him to sit on the bench because of foul trouble.
Well, you want to attack the big man every single time, especially if he's a shot blocker. Hindi ka pwedeng mag-fake dyan. Kailangan you have to take it up strong every single time. You get blocked, you get blocked. Pero kailangan mo siyang ipakommit dun sa tira at subukan makakuha ng foul. Kung hindi man, pag nag-commit na siya, you can dish it off last minute.
And si Johnson continues to somewhat struggle from that free throw line. 65% shooting lang siya mula sa 15-foot line na yan. He's missed 13 now in this tournament.
Ay,
Mercado with a
96
rebound.
points total lang ginawa ni Orlando Johnson. So kung mas maganda pa ang free throw shooting niya, arguably, they could have won one of their 2 games or even both.
Sipin mo yun, no? First 2 games, what a first impression you're leaving to all PBA fans. 48 points per ball game average nung una, 50 nung pangalawa, 46.
Eh, yung iba pang career na yung 96 points. Eh.
And Orlando Johnson going to work early once again. That's his first 2 points of the game, and that will bring Barangay Ginebra to within 1.
You know, ang kagandahan dito kay Orlando Johnson and for Barangay Ginebra, they're still struggling. You're still trying to figure out saan sila pupunta, saan sila makakakuha ng puntos. But when you have an import like Orlando Johnson, pag naghahanap ka na ng puntos, let's say you run a couple of plays, hindi gumana. Kailangan mo ng puntos. O next time, puntahan naman natin yung Orlando Johnson. Malamang sa malamang, makakakuha tayo ng puntos.
Mamaya-maya, babalitaan tayo ni Michelle Guevara kung anong mga balita ang kanyang nagkalap before the start of this game, especially, of course, mula dyan sa kampo ng Barangay Ginebra. As Kia is pushing hard, Revilla down the middle, flips it up and in.
100% confidence for LA Revilla. Did not even stop from the 15-foot line dire-derecho. He wanted to attack. And that's what LA Revilla is known for. He may be small, but he's got a big heart.
Kaya binansagan siya ni Tadin Quinito Enzo na radar Revilla, no? Sinasabi na itong Kia dahil sa mga naging import nila ng Governors Cup, PJ Ramos, tapos ngayon etong si Enjay, pati na rin si Jet Chang. Ang talagang naging biggest difference, pero may school of thought din. Nagsasabi, Kia will go only as far as LA Revilla is driving them.
Oh, definitely. Kung maalala mo, 4 yung panalo nila last conference. Ilan doon, best player si LA Revilla.
Tatlo yata kung hindi tayo nagkakamali. Tignan natin kung magpapatuloy yung splendid play na itong napakalit na point guard ng Kia.
Eh, bumalik na tayo dun sa All-Filipino Conference. Yung unang panalo nila, di ba siya rin naman ang best player noon. Opening ball game at the Philippine Arena.
Pero itong si Sol Mercado naman, nasabi, teka lang, hindi hamak na malapad ang kanyang kaha kesa dito kay Revilla, inatake niya kagad at nakapagpasabit siya ng foul.
Saw Mercado slowly but surely. You know what I like about it? Yung pagdala sa kanya ni Coach Frankie dito, alam mo siya yung bubuo, siya yung kumuha dito sa player na to. So if you're Sol Mercado, if you're struggling with confidence, pag dinala ka ng isang Frankie Lim to the most popular team in the land, ang laki ng kumpiyansa sa'yo ng coach. Tapos binibigyan ka ng minuto. So he's gonna really allow you to flex your muscles and show your game.
Dahil dalawa na ang personal foul ni L.A. Revilla, pinalitan muna siya dito ni Hiram Bagatsing. You think Coach Frankie sees a little bit of himself dito kay Sol Mercado? Alam naman natin Coach Frankie, in the history of the PBA, one of the toughest guards to ever play in the PBA.
Oh, definitely, he sees something that he likes. You know, though their games are a little bit different, let's see Coach Frankie is very methodical and, you know, a very good player and could shoot the ball out from the outside.
3-point shot delivered by Hiram Bagatsing. Hatid sa atin ng PLDT Home Devolution. Turns your ordinary TV into an internet TV. Lahat ng pumapasok para sa kanya. Bagatsing kapapasok lang, nakapag-contribute kagad. As Kagiwa gets 2 of those right back.
Ang magandaan dito sa Kia, yung kumpiyansa, makikita mo talagang walang hesitation. So, you know, that is very difficult to beat if you're Barangay Ginebra. Ito naman Barangay Ginebra, you're struggling, naghahanap kayo, wait, may mga doubts yan dahil hindi pa kayo nananalo.
Jet Chang. Driving inside, Kagiwa gets it over to Johnson on the run. Orlando. Naipagpag ito si Bagatsing. Kagiwa for 3. Di ubra.
Barangay Ginebra, those 2 games that they lost, makikita mo their biggest strength is when they're able to run. They are able to put those fast break points. So it is important. Makukuha nila yung fast break points nila, they just have to start pushing that basketball. Pero kinakailangan maybe 30-40% of their offense. Pagdating sa half court, they need to be successful.
Diele gets that basket over Mercado. May kasama pang foul, which should send us into our first timeout.
You know, what Mark Kagiwa is basically saying there, they don't want to worry too much about what Kia is doing. They have to worry about ano yung kinakailangan nilang gawin para talunin yung Kia. Mahirap yung on the defensive end ka lang because you are a stronger team in terms of locals kapag buo kayo. You're kind of struggling because kulang nga kayo pero alam mo naman na kaya niyong manalo eh. So you need to impose that pace. And that pace is a lot quicker than so far what they've shown.
Sanchier turns it over but Kia coughs it up just as well. Kaya si Barangel papasok na, papalitan si Sanchier. Helter Brand also making his way onto the floor. Pinalitan si Mark Kagiwa. During the last time out, Dom, Coach Frankie was talking about wanting to push the action. Ayaw niyang nakikitang pa-jogging-jogging lang ang kanyang mga players matapos makakuha na rebound.
Well, definitely, nakikita niya anong advantage nila eh. Ang ganda kapag nagli-lead ng fast break yung Sol Mercado, nasa wing mo si Kagiwa or si Orlando Johnson. So this is where they can get a lot of easier points. And that's what he wants. Because, you know, especially when you come in, you have new players, tapos nasaktan yung dalawang malaki, mag-iiba ng konting rotation. Eh. Pinapractice mo sa ensayo, yung sino malilibre, yung puposte, yung Greg Slaughter. Hindi mo magagawa ngayon yun kasi wala si Greg. Eh. Hindi mo naman ipapaposte si Dorian Peña or isang Dave Marcelo. You won't get the same output with those guys.
6 of the 12 points ng Barangay Ginebra galing dito kay Sol Mercado, but they still trail Kia by 3. Palitan ng tao, Dave Marcelo coming on para dito kay Peña. Sa kabila naman, pumasok na itong si Alex Noyles para sa Kia. And Jai battling Marcelo for position. Noyles bagong pasok, inatake kagad si Helterbrand.
Foul on the 13, JJ Hildebrand. That's his first foul.
First personal para dito kay JJ.
Interesting yung trade na yun, no? Alex Noyles for Real Cervantes. Real Cervantes, possibly their best scoring big man for Kia. At kapag tinignan mo yung lineup nila, maliit na nga sila, di ba? Tapos ibibigay mo pa yung Real Cervantes. But they see something in Alex Noyles. They feel they need points coming from the 2 spot.
Si Noyles actually was just lingering in the reserve list ng Blackwater when he got traded for, parang andun kay Real Cervantes. First game niya, 18 points in 18 minutes. Ito, wala pang 5 seconds, naka 1 point na. Johnson down low, battling Noyles. Does that count? It is good para dito kay Orlando.
You know, you look at Orlando Johnson, prolific, definitely, yung kanyang scoring. But what impresses me about him the most, alam niya eh, kapag maliit yung bumabantay sa kanya, dadaanin niya sa loob. Kapag malaki, ilalabas niya, dadaanin niya sa bilis. He is such a smart player na mapapansin mo sa kanya yun, maybe secondary because of the points that he puts on the board. But he knows how to break down his defender.
Mercado with a steal. Jet Chang right in front of him. Mercado all the way. Put back is good. Mula kay Orlando Johnson. Ganun-ganun lang. Tapla na ang ating labanan. Chang looking at Njai, pero they swing it over to Alvarez. Bagat Singh has Johnson showing hard. Nice up fake mula kay Hiram, and he delivers right on top of Johnson.
You gotta get the confidence of Hiram Bagat Singh. You know, he really created that shot for himself.
Mercado over to JJ. Nakita si Baracael. On the move, it is Mac who drops it off. Marcel, huli pa rin. Enjoy.
Kailangan mas mabilis yung tira nitong si Dave Marcelo when Enjai is right in front of him.
Speaking of mabilis, Jet Chang all the way to the cup for his 5th point of the game. Apat na naman ang abante.
Tsaka nakita mo yung gigil ni Enjai nung pagsupalpal na kay Dave Marcelo kasi sinasabi niya, kanina mo pa ako tinutulak ha.
Johnson from Marcelo. Dave offers the pick. Johnson with a pull-up. In and out. Ang 5 rebound na para dito kay Enjai. Bagat Singh to Alvarez. Off one hop. Rich delivers on the reverse.
Such a great playmaking ability now for Hiram Bagat Singh. Kung bilisan mo yung opensa, you try to push that basketball, you know Kia will run as well because this is a team that likes to run. So kinakailangan mabilis ka rin bumaba. So kinakailangan pareho. Kapag mabilis ka bumaba sa opensa because you want to dictate the pace, pero kailangan mo rin mabilis bumaba. So that takes a lot out of a player. So that will also really try and put to the test yung capabilities nitong Barangay Ginebra.
Speaking of capabilities, Orlando Johnson showing us the full arsenal early on as we remind everybody na nagpapatuloy ang pamimigay ng premyo ng inyong Moneyball Triple of the People dito sa inyong PBA. 4,000 pesos in cash ang makukuha ng ating best player, kaya dribblers makipindot na. Orlando Johnson, 50 points first game, 46 the next game. Dito, nagpakita na ng back to the basket game, jump shooting, fast break attack, slashing through. Talagang the full package.
Walang problema dun sa import. Kung si Coach Frankie Lim, at least that's one less thing you have to worry about. Alam mo, okay, solid yung import ko. Ang tanong na lang dyan, how do I make everybody else complement this entire team and be able to translate that into wins?
Johnson back at the line. He can bring them back to within one. Pasok ang kanyang una as we send it over to Michelle Guevara.
Orlando Johnson vows to stay aggressive, but he said he wants to be a better team player. Ibubuhos daw niya ang kanyang atensyon, taking advantage of the fast break at ang pagtutok sa maliliit na detalye ng kanilang plays, Magu.
Oh, that's a good sign for Barangay Ginebra. Hindi siya yung, I'll be aggressive lang and I'll get my points. If I get my points, I'll keep my job. He wants to be able to get W's instead of just getting the points on the board.
Actually, hindi na nga nauuso dito sa PBA ngayon as Barangay Ginebra is off and running. Bagatsing ends up fouling Barangay. We've seen it in the recent past in the PBA. Kahit nasat na makmak na score ang pinoproduce na isang import, if the W's or the wins do not come with it, napapalitan din.
Exactly, kasi that means you're not the right fit. Hindi mo na ilalabas yung players or yung galing ng iyong mga teammates.
Most recent example, last conference, yung import ng Global Port na una. I think the guy was averaging 37 points a game. Di sila
Pero
nagpapanalo.
napalitan
Pinalitan
agad.
siya nung si Warner yung biglang pumasok. Ano?
Si Warner, mas low post yung laro. Ang kagandahan nun, kasi nakita nila, nawawalan ng puntos yung Terence Romeo, yung Stanley Pringle. Kasi nag-aagawan. Nag-aagawan meaning you have to choose kung sino ang puputos. But with an inside threat, hindi siya nang-aagaw. Kumukuha lang siya ng mga rebound.
Carl De Hesa ay pinasok na ni Coach Dito Victolero. Mintis ang kanyang unang dekada. Elterbrand gets it across para sa Ginebra. And away from play, tumba yung bagong pasok din naman na si Rodney Brondial.
Foul number 6, Carl Davis on penalty.
De Hesa napituan ng foul at dahil penalty na ang Kia, 2 shots to para kay Brondial.
Going back to the number of points, even if you're scoring 50 points, but saying, okay, average ko 46, 48 points a ball game. Pero wala kang panalo, so wala ring effectivity in terms of trying to bring W's, and that's what you don't want. And mahirap matulog sa gabi kapag puro talo.
Brondial misses on his first attempt of the Governors Cup from the free throw line. Average na doon 3 points, 4 rebounds per ball game. One of the fan favorites para sa Barangay Ginebra, si Rodney Brondial. A lot of fans were asking bakit hindi siya masyadong gamit back in the second conference. Kasi nga naman, malaki import nila. Ito na ang pagkakataon niya. Let's see if he can make the most of it.
Hindi lang yun, malaki import nila. Nandun pa yung dalawa. Diba, nandun pa si Greg Stotter at si Japet Aguilar. So he's really a reliever now. Now those two guys are still injured. He will get a lot more time.
Marcelo Metangan, another one of the beneficiaries. Pwede mo sabihin beneficiary siya nun dahil wala nga yung Twin Towers. Dating sa minuto. Elterbrand Metangan, 6 to shoot. JJ on the attack, goes to Barangay. 3 segundo na lang para makatira ang Ginebra. Barangay's one-hander doesn't drop. Alvarez, pinukol papunta kay De Hesa. 24-21. It is Kia by 3. Wala na pong isang minuto natitira sa quarter number 1. Pagatsing with a looper na ilang kay Brondial. Hindi nila nakita si LA. Ngayon, pinasa na. Pero nandoon na, depensa ng Kia.
One thing about Kia, what's very impressive, yung movement nila, they seem like a very cohesive unit on offense and even on defense.
Speaking of cohesive, Tenorio and Marcelo running the pick and roll to perfection, or pick and pop at that.
You look at LA Tenorio, this coming in of Sol Mercado can be 2 things. Una, okay, mababawasan ako minuto. Pero pag nabawasan ako ng minuto, that means I can also concentrate and give more of myself within less minutes and make that into W's. Yun ang kagandahan yan kapag meron kang kasing galing or almost on the same level.
How about the pressure though? Of having somebody like Sol play alongside or Carillevo mo, kailangan A-game ka na rin palagi, no?
Yun na nga. So in terms of being or appealing to your competitive nature, napakaganda niya.
De Hesa gets the quick layup and Wojcik to the line for a bonus shot. So Kia weathering this Barangay Ginebra storm early on. Nakalamang na sila ng hanggang 6 kanina. Nakatabla minsan ng Barangay Ginebra, pero eto na naman ang Kia. De Hesa makes it a 4-point lead para dito sa Carnival, pero pwede na mag-last shot ang Ginebra. Urbistondo, isa sa mga naging Spitfires or nagbigay buhay doon sa huling laban ng Ginebra kontra sa Talk and Text on the floor. JJ's floater doesn't work. Alvarez's rebound will signal the end of the first quarter of action. 27-23 na sa ating talaan. Ang Kia abante by 4 points.
PBA Governors Cup.